So we're about to leave the UK. We've been at Rick's. I haven't done any videos while we're here because it's a long journey. It's going to take us, even from here now, just to get to Australia, about 76 hours. And then 2 weeks of quarantine and then back home. It's been a long time, almost 2 years. Big thank you to Rick again for having us on our overstay in the UK.
Oh, he's pointing at me. Oh, hello.
And we've been stuck out of Australia now for 19 months since we've been forcibly stopped from returning home. And you know, it's been quite hard. You know, financially it's quite a struggle. And you know, people will say, well, why? Good day, sorry. So people will say, why did you not go back to Australia earlier? And it's something I should address. I mean, there was a small window right at the beginning where we might have been able to get back. But in reality, what happened is we were spending a few weeks in Turkey. So we went for a short trip to Turkey, and we were going to be maybe 3 weeks in Istanbul. And that's when Istanbul as a city closed down and forced us to stay in Istanbul for a little over 4 months. The actual city itself was locked down and we couldn't get out of Istanbul. Slowly, as that improved and we were able to leave Istanbul, we were thinking we could cross into Athens, into Greece, and get back to Australia. And then Australia went into a fit and decided they would shut even residents out of Australia. So we were stopped then from going back home. And at that point, we decided we'd start looking at just things to do to keep ourselves occupied. Now, call us foolish, but we decided to walk the entire length of the Great British Isles. So we went from the top of Scotland all the way down to England, John O'Groats to Land's End. And even at the end of that 3 months of hiking and camping, we still couldn't get back to Australia. It was at this time we stayed with our good friend Rick. This was getting towards Christmas now, and we stayed with our good friend Rick here in the UK. And with increasing sort of travel restrictions, come January time, Michelle and I decided we'd go across to Mexico and try and, you know, stay somewhere where it was vibrant and interesting, not too expensive, because we weren't sure how long this was going to go on for. What ended up happening is we found it increasingly hard to find any way of getting back to Australia that wasn't going to cost an absolute fortune. After 6 months in hotel rooms in Mexico, which was, you know, it sounds wonderful, but put yourself in our position, 6 months in hotel rooms. It was pretty hard. We'd had enough, and we thought, well, whatever it costs, whatever we have to do, we have to find a way of getting back home and seeing our family. What we ended up doing eventually was finding a flight that was not going to completely cripple us financially, but it was 2 months ahead. Now remember, there are very few flights at this time that were available to fly into Australia, because most of the airports were going closed, open, closed, and people were buying tickets and having them cancelled and bumped, cancelled and bumped. And we found an airline, all Nippon Airlines, a Japanese airline, that would allow us to book with some comfort of knowing the flights would happen. In other words, they had a reputation for actually getting their flights into Australia. So we booked 2 tickets. It was 2 months ahead of time, so we had to find things to do. Hence, we've come to visit our good friend here again in the UK. We booked those 2 flights, and a month after we booked them, Australia went into an extra sort of fit of lockdowns and started restricting the numbers, because I haven't said yet, but there are quotas to return to Australia, so they've dropped the numbers down. There are 40,000 Australians that are trying to get home, and we're just 2 of those Australians, so it became even harder. A lot of flights were cancelled. As luck would have it, our flight was not cancelled, and now we are 1 day away from that flight, and you can join us on the journey, because we're heading up to London and we will be on that plane, fingers crossed, tomorrow. Okay, so we're in our taxi now heading up to Heathrow, and it's about an hour and a half, I think, to Heathrow. So it's superb, door-to-door service, and makes life a lot easier for us. Sad to say goodbye to Rick. So we've arrived in London. We're at the Premier Inn. Now, we've stayed in a few Premier Inns before. They're nice. There's one thing which I didn't expect, is a 4 o'clock check-in. That never used to be the case in the Premier Inn. So we've arrived at 3 something, and they're saying they haven't got rooms ready. We'll see. We'll sit down for a little while, but we could have left a little bit earlier. Okay, so we're at the Premier Inn. I asked them, the girl kindly made us a room with a view of the airport, but to be honest, the windows are so filthy you can't see out of them. And I just came out here, have a quick look to see if any of the windows were bigger or brighter, but they're all the same. And it stinks of smoke in the room a little bit, not too heavily, so we're probably going to not kick up a fuss and just get on.
This lift is going up. Doors closing.
It's probably to be expected in a busy airport hotel that's a little more
Floor 2.
run down, perhaps. But we're not that bothered. It's a short stay. And I'm getting flicker on the lights, which means the frequency here is different to the camera. I can't be bothered to make the changes, so apologies for the flicker. 2079.
Hello.
You know, it's not too bad. Got a nice armchair. Got a couple of double beds.
One each.
And a bathroom with a bath. So typical Premier Inn. Okay, so we've ordered Deliveroo, some Indian food. Not a lot of choice. Well, there is a fair choice, but we might have gone too far. Here we go. Got an early start tomorrow morning. Starting off at probably 6 in the morning. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some sleep. Look, that looks nice, doesn't it? Full English breakfast. Is this going anywhere? Said it was going, should be going down. I had to press the button. No, last time I came in there, it went down by default. So, okay, let's get our Deliveroo and head back up. And shall I be happy? We're quite hungry. Okay. So she's on the way. Sorted? You got your how are you, mate? So you got your pickup?
Yes. Yeah, we are working with the Uber Eats Deliveroo.
Alright, mate.
Thank you. Take care.
That's the Uber Eats lad that was delivering. He thought he was delivering for me, but now we've got Deliveroo Indian food. I should have taken it, shouldn't I? Here's the fella. I thought it was cyclist, but it's a scooter. Just making a little video. I won't put you in if you don't worry, but thank you very much. Beautiful. Thank you, buddy. So there it is. Oh, there's a smell out here. Deliveroo. What am I like? Just gone the wrong way. We're down here. We've got a beautiful naan here. It's filled with.
That's a meal in itself.
We've got some rice. I know we've got a butter chicken.
Some rice.
And some rice. Anyway, that's it. That's my diary update. We got food and then we're going to sleep or watch a bit of telly maybe. Wow, look at this. This is a meal in itself. It's got beautiful tandoori chicken in a naan. Michelle, we could have just had one of these each. It's a mountain of food. Good morning, everybody. We pardon me?
Terminal 2, yes.
Terminal 2, please. Yes, thank you very much. The gentleman's come and picked us up from the hotel, and we're on the road to the airport. We're in Germany. Which city are we in? Michelle, what city is it? We're in Frankfurt. I don't know. I'm just flying to Australia. First of all, headed up fast. And then I'm going to get my udon. And you slurp it. That is the right way.
If you follow the road till it leads you back home, you'll find that the answer is yes.